Okay, so we are going to get started. Today we're going to cover, I forgot to email a topic out last night and I don't have a full presentation. We're going to do the stuff live today. Um, so follow me and everything like that. And it'll be recorded as always. And if you have any questions, then we'll cover it at the end, or I will send you the email and stuff with the documents. But for the first part, all I want you to do is, let me adjust the volume here on my end, is we're going to go over some GSuite training tips, which is called the free tools that your email uses. Our email's back end is Gmail, but you have access to all the GSuite tools, which is what they call Google's like Microsoft Office version stuff. So I'm going to show you a link where it has lots of different training topics you can access anytime if you're looking to do anything. So I will put that address up here. Let me share my screen. All right, you should be able to see my desktop now. And I'm going to switch to the actual link. All right, so if you want to copy this down or take a screenshot, you can do that. If not, I'll email the link out later after the training session. But this is going to be a helpful link to have in your files so you can basically refer back to it whenever you have a question or you need to do something. I found this actually last night because Google updated a lot of their stuff and they updated their training stuff, and this is a link that I found actually very helpful, lots of cool tips. So, and if you haven't taken it down, just take a screenshot or whatever, or a picture of your cell phone camera, and I'll send the link out to it via email. But just want to give you that. That's where we're going to start working today. And then we're going to log into our email account, and we're going to go over a few things that we haven't gone over in a while, that how to cast your video from your laptop or your computer to the office conference room TVs, to all sorts of different things. We're going to go over filters, labels in your emails, and how to organize it and set up basically color schedules and stuff like that. So the link that I mentioned is for Google Suite training. Let me move my little bar out of the way here. All right, I'm just checking out sounds good, which is good. This is the link up here, but you'll notice it'll take you to this page, and it's the GSuite Learning Center. They revamped it with all new look, and it's got tons and tons of stuff on it, okay? As quick little questions on how to do things, on the key features. But if you want to look up something specific, like go to products, and you'll see all the different products they have, and you can look up the specific details for those. So if I wanted to figure out how to do something on Google Drive, all right, it'll bring up just Google Drive documents of how to access things, how to help. If you how to just automatically sync downloaded files to Drive. It gives you the step-by-step instructions and how to move around. I'm not going to spend all time on this. This is just a reference tool I want you to actually have. So if you have questions, you get stuck, you have the tip library, you have all these different things that you can search for, and you have access to a lot of this stuff free when you don't have access to support 24/7, or you need something right away and you're at home and you can't get hold of the office staff or whatever the case is. So I will pass that link on via the email, but I also wanted to put it on the slideshow there and show you what it looks like, because we're not actually going to use this. We're going to go step by step live doing some few things ourselves. The next thing I want you to do, and you can do this live while if you have a computer, is log into your Gmail accounts. If you don't, it's not a big deal, because like I said, this will be recorded and I'll probably send out notes or do a presentation on this later with more detailed steps. But I'm going to log into my Gmail account right here. I already logged into it once. This is my test account, which still gets a lot of team emails and everything like that. And once you've logged in there, you're going to want to write this link down too, all right? And you can open up another tab. And you don't have to be in incognito mode. I'm just there because this is our training room computer, and I don't want to log into my personal test account, not the training room account. Open up a blank tab, and I'm going to go to takeout, all one word, .google.com. And this is a shortcut to back up all of your data for all of your Google stuff. That includes every single email you have, your bookmarks, your calendar, your Chrome settings, your contacts, everything all in one shot, one file. Okay? So that link is takeout, all one word, .google.com. It won't show up unless you log in. You have to be logged into your account. It may ask you to log in and stuff, but if you logged into your account, then you open up the new tab, it will show up and you can just go there. Once you go there, the instructions are pretty simple. This is literally everything in your attached to your Google profile, attached to your email account, your at C2NB account and stuff like that. This works for your personal Gmail account now as well. They used to not have that feature. This was a business feature, but now I believe it's available for your personal Gmail. So this is a perfect way of how to back up everything attached to your email. And we were covering backup my last training class a few weeks ago. So this is a perfect example. Now, all you're going to do is basically select the data to include. Step one, just follow their steps, and then you can click on the learn more to get more steps, and deselect what you don't want. By default, everything's selected. All right, so I would just scroll down, but you'll realize how many settings there are of different things in your Google account. Now, you don't use most of this, but for the most part, it's there. By default, you can check everything. Once you get to the bottom, all right, you'll see a button that says next step. Okay, so just check everything for the good habit, because you're going to back everything, hit next step. And when it does this, it's going to customize your archive format. That's basically saying how it's going to back up the file. Okay, if you had an account that's older, all right, and you're not a new agent, it's probably going to be larger than 2 gigabytes, which is a large file size. So by default, it's set at zip, a zip type file, and then 2 gigabytes, but that's the maximum size for a zip file. So if it'll give you an error message if you try it, but basically all you got to do is leave the default setting and hit create archive. And if it doesn't do that, then all you got to do is go back to the setting and change it to TGZ, which is just a different type, and you'll see it goes up to 50 gigabytes, and you could it'll actually break it up into larger sections of that. It's just a different type of file compression. So I'm going to leave it by default and see if it's my test account, and just hit create archive. And once it does that, it's going to say it's archiving 44 things and stuff, and that's it. Now, what's going to happen is that because you have a large amount of stuff, especially if you've been with us for a while, it's going to have a lot of emails, a lot of everything. It's going to take a while. It can take up to a couple hours to possibly 2 days and stuff. But when it completes, you can go back to takeout.google.com. You'll see it there, but it will also send you an email with a link to download it and stuff. And this is where you want to, when you get that link, you're going to actually download it on your local computer or start your backup drive or wherever the case is. So for some reason you ever leave the company, you got all your stuff with you. We do this for you when you leave. So if you ever access something, we can pull that up. But in addition to that, while you're here with us, if you delete something, you can always upload and find it and stuff. So you have to open it with a separate program, which that's another day and everything. It's a whole other training session, but because it puts the email in a different format. But there's free versions to open it up, and we'll cover that in another class. So I just wanted to show you this quick tool because it's easy, simple to use, and everybody should do that today. I mean, literally, you should have done it live if you can, and then check back in a couple days, and you'll have your backup file. So you know for sure, no matter what you do, everything's there, and you can make a local backup copy. Now, after that, I'm going to go back to our regular Gmail browser. I'm logged into my company email account. Okay, so every one of our offices over the last couple of years, for the most part, I can't think if there's any one that doesn't have it yet. We put smart TVs into the offices. Okay, almost every conference room has one. If not, there's at least a conference room or a building that has one in the building. Some have several. So we give you the ability, they're Android-based TVs, which Android is the operating system that runs Google and everything. So basically, anything that integrates with that integrates live. You can work with your cell phones, but more importantly, if you have a computer and you have your Google Chrome browser and you have a laptop and you have a small screen, you've got a customer and you're meeting them in a conference room, you can broadcast what's on your screen to any one of our TVs, okay? Pending that they're not turned off. You got to have them on, they got to be running and stuff like that. So all you got to do is open up your browser, log into your account, and you will see the Google's three little dots up here in the corner where you get the settings for your browser. You'll see a whole bunch of different things there. You're going to look for the one that says cast. When you see cast there, it's going to open up a window and it's going to scan everything that's on the same network. Okay, so you can see AB202, Barista Room, the boardroom, the Lennar Room, AB207. Those are dead names of computers or our TVs that we have on file there. So you can select one of these. If I were to select this, my little window out of the way, I would be able to cast and share my training screen right now. They would be able, whoever's in that room, I would take over their computer and they would start seeing me training, all right, or see this class, see my screen. So if you're doing a listing presentation and you don't want to use our local computer because you have something on your own computer, you can just do that. Just you got to make sure that your computer's on the same network as our TVs, which should be if you're using our Wi-Fi, you're on the same network. And other than that, it's literally that simple. So I'm not going to do that now because I don't know if someone's down there using the conference room TVs. So I don't want to take over their screen. But you can do that for your house as well. So if you have a Chrome browser and you want to, let's say you have a Netflix account, you don't have a smart TV yet, or you do, or it's not working, or you got something else you want to watch on the internet to put on your TV. If you have an Android-based TV, it will work great. If you don't have an Android-based TV, then you can buy a little thing from Best Buy or from Amazon or whatever for like $20. It's called a Google Chromecast. It's literally a little USB stick. You plug it into your TV, and then it turns it into a browsing machine. So you can sit there and you can broadcast your computer to that. So it's not too complicated. It's pretty easy to do, but for the most part, our offices are set up like that already, and you could do that at your house if you want. So the next thing I'm going to cover is logging into your email, and we're going to show how to organize stuff. So, and do a few little minor things to help you get your inbox cleaned out, I guess. So a lot of people, because some people will just delete stuff. Some people will just not do anything with it, and it gets overwhelming because they see too many, or whatever the case is. So there's different ways. Everybody has different styles. All right. If you're going to delete something, it's obviously, if you don't make backups, it's going to be gone. All right, for the most part. So you've got to make sure that instead of deleting it, maybe you just want it out of your way in your general inbox, and that's a file system, kind of like how you have a filing cabinet. So over here in Google, on your left side with the inbox, with all these little things, you can create folders, okay? So what I'm going to do is basically, and it's not really, it looks like a folder to you. To Google, it's something different and stuff. So basically, I'm going to just go to, you can see all the different things. It actually creates a lot of stuff for you. So if I want to create new folders or create a label, which I'm going to go over in a second, you just basically click in there, okay? So I'm not going to worry about it right now, because this is my test account. I don't want to mess it up here. I'm going to go to my inbox. But all right. You'll see some of these already. You'll see like social media posts automatically get filtered. I didn't move that stuff there because I created a folder there, or created a label is what they call it in Google actually. So, and then I just set a rule up and it goes there. So I'm going to go actually and manage my labels. And you'll see a list of all the existing labels there. You can customize, change the ones that are there, do a lot of different things. We're going to go to that in a second. I just wanted to show you where it's at. Under that, when you scroll to the bottom, is create a new label. So I'm going to create a new label, and I'm going to call it my hot sheet. Okay? Because back in January, early January, I started resending out the hot sheet again. So I'm going to create a label called hot sheet, and you will see it will show up. I didn't nest it under anything, so it should be right there. Okay, so now it's there, and it's like a little folder. So if I want to customize this, all right, because I'm going to show you, we're going to use this in a second. I'm going to click on it, and when I move mouse over it, you'll see little 3 dashes come up, just like the little 3 bars over here. That's kind of Google's thing, kind of to get the key settings of it. So when I mouse over the hot sheet, I'm going to click on the middle menu, and you'll see I can assign a color to it to make it easier to read. All right, I'm going to say, since it's a Century 21 email, I'm just going to make it a yellow. All right, so now my little flag is yellow, but if it can be red, it can be whatever color you want. So I'm going to do the same thing. Click on the little 3 lines, and then you're going to see different options. I'm going to go to edit, and you can change the name if you want. If you want to put it under another one, I don't have another nested structure. I don't have it under another one, but we can create another one in a second. But once I create my folder structure that I want, if I wanted to add one underneath it, I could add another one saying, let's just call it, oops, hold on one second. That was a person. I want to go here, my labels. Create a new label. I'm just going to call this hot sheet child. I'm going to nest it under the hot sheet. So now I'm nesting it under the hot sheet, means when I go to the hot sheet folder, let me minimize these ones here. Yep, right here. You will see my hot sheet child folder underneath. Now, the cool thing about this is that even though it looks like it's a folder for you, it's not really a folder. It basically adds a tag to the email. So when you go to back things up, it makes things easier to find when you're searching stuff and you're creating filters and all that stuff. So that's for a future day, but just trust me, this is a very cool feature in Google that it's later on down the road we want to do more things. So let's assume I've created my folder structure. Maybe you want to do a folder for every single property you're working on. Maybe you do a folder per person, like every email from Craig you want to go somewhere. Every email from me you want to go somewhere. Every email, whatever the case is, the transaction coordinators, everything whatever the case is, you can create filters out the wazoo, which is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to do one for the hot sheet. That's why I created a hot sheet folder. So instead of having the hot sheet, which we send Monday through Friday every day, pending something going wrong, everything will come to you and stuff at the morning, and it goes out at 11 a.m. on our server. So you'll receive it at 11 a.m. every day for the most part, except for the weekend. So, but I don't want to see that in my inbox every day. I want that. I still want to have access to it. I want to review it, but I don't want to say it's not important. I don't want it in my inbox. So I'm going to move it and stuff. So I'm going to set a rule, which in Google's term is called a filter. And I'm going to set it so when an email comes in, I create a filter and it says anything that matches this criteria, move it to this folder or apply this label in Google's term. So this hot sheet we create our stuff like that when we send out bulk emails for a reason. You'll notice that almost every bulk email, like if it's coming from our team account, which means it's going to everybody company-wide, will be in brackets C21BE-team. Every group email comes into that. We name the name of the group after the dash part, so you can create a filter easy to move that stuff and everything. So after that is the actual subject line. And you'll notice every time I do a hot sheet, if I just go up and search for hot sheet, oops, I can get my fingers to work this morning. You will see every hot sheet has the word hot sheet in the subject line, as well as a date. So you see the date that it goes out. So it allows you to create a filter so you can match bulk emails to treat it like, so you can organize it automatically so you don't have to do it manually, you don't have to see it. So what I'm going to do is, I could do this directly from my inbox, but since I already searched for a hot sheet, I'm going to see the email. I know there's a pattern in the subject. So I'm going to basically check on the email, right? And I'm going to go up to the little 3 lines here, the little 3 dots, this time within the browser and stuff. And you'll see a bunch of different things. I can add do stars or whatever. The one I'm going to is filter messages like these. Okay? So after you've selected that, it's going to say, I'm going to click that open, and it's going to give me some criteria. You're going to see if it has the words team.c21b, that's fine, but we send a lot of emails throughout team. I don't want every single email from team going out to this folder. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to say, all right, the from field from the email, it always comes from team@c21be. Okay, so I'm going to create that, but the subject always has the word hot sheet in it. Okay, so now this is a computer, so it follows the rules exactly as it is. So if I were to, I'm going to go back to this in a second, but I'm going to go show you. People spell hot sheet differently, and I did that on purpose just a second ago. You'll notice that hot sheet is separated by 2 words. Sometimes people call it as one. I do it both ways by accident, sometimes 2. So the computer is a filter. It will follow your rules exactly. If you program the filter wrong, it won't work. So if you type hot sheet together, that's a different word than hot space sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to go back to my filter screen, all right, which is check my email, 3 dots. Go back to filter messages. Most of you didn't leave. I'm going to say it's from team@c21be.com. And in the subject line, we put hot sheet. You don't have to type everything, okay? Because there's going to be very few emails with the term hot sheet in it. Now, this is where that comes to the art of writing rules. You may have some email come across where we reference the hot sheet, and we may put that in the subject line by accident. And if you write a rule that says that it contains these words, and it sees something with those words in it, it's going to put it or do what you tell it to do. So sometimes people say, I'm not getting emails from this place. I'm not getting email. Well, it's because the first thing I usually go check is they accidentally created a filter that deletes it, files it away, or whatever the case is. And I'll show you that when I go to my rules in a second. So I'm just creating the first one. So it says it's a hot sheet. So anything right now that comes from team@c21be.com with a subject hot sheet in it, all right, I can remove it. Don't even need to worry have the hazard words because I know that's going to have it in a lot of emails and stuff. I don't need to worry about anything else. Okay, you can pick and narrow down as your choices you want. I'm going to hit create a filter. Okay, and now it's going to ask you, what do I want to do with this? Well, I got lots of different things I can do it. If I don't want to organize it, I can just star it. I can mark it as red. I can do whatever. I can send it to spam. I can just never send it to spam. Delete it. Do a lot of different things. What I'm going to basically do is if I can apply a label to it, I'm going to go check apply a label. And I'm going to choose the hot sheet All right. I don't want it to go to the child. I was just showing you how to the nested subject and stuff. So, and once I do that, let me move my little bar out of the way here. You will see a button that says create filter. All right. So I'm going to click that create filter, and you can pick whatever you want. All right. And now a filter has been created. In order for me to check, so the next time the hot sheet comes in, it's going to move it to that hot sheet folder. Now I'm going to go back and go to my settings. All right. And I'm going to, when I click on my little cogwheel, which is Google settings and stuff, I go to the main account settings. You'll see an option there that says filters and blocked addresses. So I'm going to go to my filter, and you're going to see my rules here that I created. Right now I only have one in the test option. Okay. So I've got this right here, and I could delete it. I could do it. I can edit it. I can do whatever if I forget something. But right now it's running. So any type of hot sheet that comes in, it's going to go there. So at 11 a.m. when the new hot sheet comes in, it's going to route. Now you can apply those rules to existing stuff already, but for right now, I just want to show you how to create the rule. All right. And at 11 o'clock, it will appear in my little hot sheet folder. So now if I want to do something else, like for example, you see like Sam sent an email out for .loop. Okay, you can create a .loop folder. Whatever way you can get creative and come up with your ideas. Let me go back to my settings here. And you can obviously set your colors, do whatever you want. Okay, so it will appear in your email, but it will not be in your inbox. Your email, correct. Remember, I created a rule to move it. All right. So if I wanted to move it, it's going to move to the hot sheet. All right. So it's going to go to the hot sheet folder. The hot sheet folder is still in my inbox, under inbox, but it's not on my main inbox page. Okay. So you'll see I got 4,008 emails in my test inbox. All right. From now on, those hot sheets went there. I can apply the filter and make Google search for this and say search and move everything into that right now. But I don't want to tie it up for a second right now. Because I'm moving on to something else. I'll do that at the end. After I've done the labels and stuff and I've created it, you'll see the colors there, all that good stuff. I can create the filters. Now I can go back in and do that for a lot of different things to organize things. So if you know you're getting, stuff like, if you will, you want to create a folder for Craig, or like I said, per property, you can write rules saying every property address, whenever you type that in, it will go to there if you're working on it. So, people do different things. That's kind of like, there's an app called Folio that people that have been out, that's all it is a fancy filter program that it kind of scans for your real estate address, or scans for property address, creates a folder or a label, and then moves things there. And you can do that for basically free. Same exact thing. So any questions so far? Correct. Question was, if you don't, once I create a filter, and if I don't look into that particular spot, you're not going to see it. So the hot sheet will never come in your inbox. It will come in your account, but basically when an email comes into your account, the Google basically runs the rules and the filters and says, hey, this matches that criteria. I'm going to move it to the hot sheet folder, and that's where it's going to go. So it's not in your main inbox feed, but you can go to the hot sheet folder. It'll be there every day. Okay, and from now on. Now, no, there's not one to do that. It's not like that. It's more of a two. You can do it manually and stuff. So, but you can. The easy way around that. That's the cool thing about Google is you can set your inbox to show all emails. Okay, so there's lots of different ways to do it. You don't have to worry about it saying you don't want to see the filters. You just set it say so all my emails and everything. So right now, though, I'm going to cover one other step because I know I want to be the first main part at 9 o'clock be done, and then I'll go questions and go a little bit some more advanced stuff afterwards. So after you create rules, besides filtering them to separate folders, you can delete them. If you know you're getting spam, okay, this is where you got to be careful and stuff. Like, let's see if I can find, these are my training accounts. I don't really have a lot of spam. All right, so let me try and find this spam email here. No good ones to choose from. So let's just pick one. So let's go security alert. All right, Google sent me a security alert. I logged into this computer instead of my normal test computer. So I'm going to check the box, do the same thing. All right, and normally Google has folders up here. You can mark as spam, mark as red, do a lot of different things and stuff. Move to, if you wanted to move it yourself manually, you can pick your folders from there and stuff. I don't want to do that. If I want to report it as spam, I'll report it spam. Google will do it. But I'm going to create my own filter. I don't want Google to manage my spam filter. It does a good job as it is. So I just want to no matter what, let's say I mark it as spam, but it still doesn't go away. Okay. So I'm going to create my own filter. So I'm going to click here, filter messages like these, just like I did before. And obviously I'm going to say, whatever this spam at Gmail, it's whatever the email came from. That's Gmail's real email. I don't want to block that as spam. So I just say any email from that address, or if it's always the same keywords, you have to be careful using keywords though, because those keywords, if they appear in any type of email, if you don't customize and point it to a specific email, you're going to possibly delete legitimate stuff. So that, and basically whatever customization you want, I'm going to just say it's from this account because the same person sends me stuff. I've hit the unsubscribe link to these emails and they don't unsubscribe me. So I'm just going to give up and I'm just going to block them basically. So I'm creating a rule that's just going to go to trash. So anything that has this from spam at gmail.com, which that's not a real account, because I'm not going to create this, I'm going to hit create filter and I'm just going to go to simply delete it. Okay. And create my filter, and that's it. So now on any of that, I'll never get any more emails from that again. So if you want to do the same option, never send it to spam, like someone from your office. Now, by our rules, our own Century 21 domain, c21be.com, any email comes from us will never be marked as spam. Okay. So if it's coming from an outside account, then yes, it has potential to be, but for the most part, you can do that. So let me get my little screen bar out of the way. Okay. Now, so we've covered the basic part of filtering. We covered coloring a folder and everything like that. And we covered Chromecasting and doing your backup and takeout. Now, that's just the basic part for the manual stuff. If you don't want to do all those manual rules and everything like that, Google's AI and its own learning does a lot of stuff pretty good itself. Okay. So if you mouse over your inbox and you'll see a little down arrow. All right. So when I click on that down arrow, you're going to see, how do I want to organize my email? It will try and do it first. It'll say important first. It'll learn what you think is important, or what. So and it'll put that first. Now, when you do this, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be by date. So if someone sends you an email, right? Let's say you organize this thing, and it learns that you're always checking these certain things first. Then it's going to put that at the top of the box. So I'm going to show you in a second. So if I change to important first, leave this site. It's going to it has to log out and log back in to apply the filter. All right. So now it's going to see the certain people that I answer stuff for, certain things that it reads everything in your email for the most part and organizes what it thinks is important. Okay. So you can see it, and it also tags it with a thing saying it's important according to Google Magic because it's coming from Century 21 and it's a conversation talking about something that I've been dealing with and stuff. So this will organize your important stuff first. All right. Now, it's not going to be perfect, because what you deem important may not be the same thing as Google's AI, but for the most part, it does a pretty good job about it because it takes time. It has to learn what you do when you check your email. But let's say I don't like it and I want to do just my unread email first. I don't want other conversations that are there, or I want my starred first, or whatever stuff. I can also create a priority inbox for certain things. I'm going to put starred email first this time. Okay. So I only have one test, but you'll notice when you look at your email inbox, you'll see, if you mouse over it, you'll see a little star and you'll see like a little tag, a highlight tag. I'm teaching Google when I do this. So if I basically click on a star, and if I applied this filter to say anything starred first, it's going to show up first. Okay. So if my contact is all I want to be starred, always show up first, and I'm doing this type of filtering, I can do it that way. So there's lots of different ways to skin this cat. If you don't want to manually write the rules, you can put your trust in Google. If not, you can always go back to the default, all right, and don't worry about it. And it'll be the normal default, comes in the morning. Now, by default, they do a pretty good job of normal spam filtering. You add a few customized filters yourself, you'll be good to go. If I log in my regular inbox, I'll show you. Let me log out of here, and you'll see. I gotta log out of the thing. Open up a new incognito window. Oops, wrong one. All right. All right. And you will notice my account. I have a security key, a little USB stick that is in my computer that when I have it on my computer, I don't have to worry about typing my two-step authentication because it knows that it's me because it's that USB stick wouldn't be without me. So, but I don't have that with me, so I'm going to have to log in saying with another way, my authenticator code. And 24. All right. So I'm logging into my regular company account. And you will see over here on my left all the filters that I have down here and stuff. I have a filter called Inbox where I organize other things and stuff, the hot sheet, voicemails, and all sorts of different accounts. So I've got this organized and it goes down forever and stuff. So you'll see lots of things to do it so I can find stuff quickly and without having to go through and search for everything. Now, if I didn't want to find something with organizing, the search bar works great. So, for example, I've been dealing with a company called MoxieWorks about doing a demo for something for our managers and stuff. I've been looking for this guy. I can just quickly type in the thing and I'll bring up his emails. So there's lots of cool tools yourself to help organize. And since it's 9 o'clock, for those of you who want to go, you can go and everything. And I'm not going to go into any new topics. I'll just basically answer questions because I don't want to overload everybody and make it a super long video when it comes to that and stuff. So does anybody have any questions online or in the building right now? And if not, then we'll, in a second, I'm going to show you one last thing while people are typing. If I go, because I'm in my main account now, I can go up and I can show you my filters that I have. Oops, hold on, get my Yep. The question was, if you set those folders and set the rules to go to those folders and stuff, does that mean you don't have to well, that means they not show up in your inbox and they will go to those folders and you got to check those other folders? Yes. The short answer is yes. You're setting a rule to go there. But if you notice that these rules, these numbers over here tell you the messages, how many there. So if you see there's nothing there, okay, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you see numbers appear, then you can use it. Now, my personal preference is some of these are so large and they have different numbers because I don't read them every day. I get like credit card processing. Every time we run a credit card to our company account, I get an email receipt for it. I don't need to look at the receipt in my inbox. All right. So the last couple of days, I haven't checked it in a couple of days. There's 38 of them sitting in there. Okay. When I go through make the accounting entries once a week, I go through once a week and I go through and I double check it and see it's there. So use the rules as creative organization. All right. So use it smart. If you're not going to check it, then yeah, you forget, the rules are going to go there. The computer is going to follow the rules you create. Like Answer First. Answer First is our call center. I have 132 emails for them. And all that is for them is basically confirmations whenever they answer a phone call at the answering center, a recording goes there. I don't need to see it, but if I need to access, someone says, well, they said something on that overnight recording, I can go pull the recording and I'll find out exactly what was said. So, but I don't need to check that every day, So stuff like that, you get the habit of what you get, you don't need to check. So let me go to the questions real quick here. Okay, so a question from Kelly is, when the email goes to the folder, you'll get a notification about the email. Yes, you'll get it. You won't get a notification in your inbox, but yes, it'll go. You'll see it light up. The numbers will change and stuff. So you got to kind of check it. That's the only negative side to it. And then Lauren says that USB you spoke with is special type that it knows how your security. Yes. The question is that it's a special security key. Okay. So I'll show you that in just 1 second. I'll show everybody that. So in here, I'm in my main Google settings. I went to my cogwheel, went to settings. Okay. So I'm going back to my existing folders. I've wanted to show you this since I'm in my main box. You'll see I have existing folders already and stuff. You'll see anything from DocuSign, basically. I have it marked, never mark as spam because sometimes it goes to spam. Mark it as important, start, do all that stuff. So it pops up and makes me aware. So if you have someone that you're checking, you can mark all those categories and that way it shows up and you can sort by that category real quick instead of checking each folder. You see what I'm saying? So, like this lady, I guess Bunko, some card game. Somehow I got on an email list like a million years ago. I don't play Bunko. I don't know what it is. And this lady keeps sending me about her card games every night. How she found my email, I don't know. I unsubscribed. So this is the reason why I have any email from this lady, I just delete it. Okay. Now, if this lady ever wanted to buy a property or whatever, contact me, she's not going to be able to contact me from this email address. So that's the warning I want to tell you about. You got to be creative. You got to be careful when you create filters. If you block a customer or you block something with C keywords, Google doesn't discriminate. It will follow your rules. So this lady will never be able to get hold of me, and because she sends me so much spam and she never gets me off her list, so it is what it is. So, but I just want to say, be careful with your filters. Exactly. Now, the question that they asked about was a security key. Good question. Okay, I'm going to go to Amazon real quick, and you can buy them yourselves. And let me see if I can remember. I'm in my thing. I'm going to go. It's under my two-step settings. I'm going to click on my picture. All right, and then I'm going to go to your, basically my account or Google account and stuff. And then I'm going to find. They changed the menu on this too. I got to find my two-step security. That's probably where it's at. I set this up a long time ago, and signing into Google. All right, you will see signing into Google. You'll see a little picture there. So you haven't changed it since 2014 because I got a security key. I don't have to worry about it. Oops, hold on. Can't see my little caps lock. Eh. All right. Oh, shoot. I don't want to change my password now. Oop. I'm going to go out of this. I don't want to change my password. Got too many things synced to it right now. I will. It's in here somewhere. 2Password. That's the two-step now. I don't want that. Cover email. I'll find it. They changed this. Sign in. Pin screen. All right. I'll find out the security key and send it. Because I don't see it in here now. It's in here somewhere, but they redid the whole front screen. But I'm going to show you what they look like. They're called Fido, and they make different kinds. But what you're looking in for is basically, they're not a normal USB drive. It's an encrypted drive that verifies your identity that you have to tie to your company email account. And you can use multiple ones on that. And they fit on your keychain and everything like that. And they range from cost from $25 to $50, whatever the case is. I mean, to be honest, they don't really make a difference. They all work the same and stuff. You'll see a lot of different things. And if you basically search for Amazon for FIDO, F-I-D-O, that's the type of encryption it uses, or a YubiKey is what it's called as well. There's different names, but FIDO is easy to remember. It's a two-factor authentication set up with your digital with a USB stick, okay? So I don't have my keys with me, but I have one on my keychain as well. So if I go to another computer or something like that and I don't have my cell phone, or if I'm going where I may not have access or whatever, I can put that in there. It'll authenticate me and replace the step requiring the text message code or your Google authenticator code. Because if it assumes if you have this key and you know your password, it's you. Now, if someone steals my key and knows my password, then I'm in trouble, all right? So hopefully they won't do that, but I usually have one stuck in my home computer so I don't have to worry about the two-factor authentication. This is my two-factor authentication. So once you get these, and the blue cheap ones, the $27 are easy, simple, and they fit in a normal eUSB slot, and you got to program it. I'll look up the notes and I'll send that, and I'll do a separate class to program because I think this is a great tool for everybody. But honestly, if you don't need to spend $20, you don't need to spend $20 unless you want to. So because you got the Google Authenticator app on your phone, and almost everywhere has internet access now, and you can almost get text messages everywhere. This is more of if you're in an area where you don't, or you're just tired of doing the text messaging and tired of typing the codes, that's good too. So other than that, I will go more details and send an email about the security key. Sorry, I can't find it. They changed the security screen. I don't know where it's at exactly. And no other questions? All right, if there's no other questions, then you guys can get out of here and enjoy your Friday. And I will send an update on the security key to everybody. And that's it. Have a good weekend.